Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that instead of a boxing ring, the most exciting bout of the year happened in a hospital room? It was possibly the strangest fight of the year, with IVs, nurses, and the song You Stole 'Em. At the main event, Claressa Shields versus Remy Ma. A video of a significant event in hip-hop history has been leaked, showing Claressa's mother barging into Remy Ma's hospital room, grabbing her by the wrist and accusing her of taking papoose. Did I mention that Remy Ma had a cardiac monitor on? It is unknown what specifically pushed Claressa over the edge and what secret Remy was keeping from her in front of a hospital bed. A fight broke out between nurses, patients, and a wide-eyed janitor who has 200K TikTok followers. Why wasn't security on the move? After being released to the public, the film is worse than anyone could have predicted. Grab your blood pressure monitor and some popcorn, please. Imagine this. Ladies and gentlemen, a dimly lit hospital room with buzzing equipment. A woman lying weak on a bed with IVs and monitors, blinking not just any patient, but Remy Ma. Not far from that antiseptic room, a natural force named Claressa Shields, tearing down the hallway with her fists for attention. You're going to see something that might become quite popular on the internet, although she isn't gloved. Her rage is more audible than it has ever been during a title battle. The time is 2:47 in the morning. There was no security since there was nothing to stop what was going to happen. A veiled person at Mount C eludes a preoccupied nurse in the private wing. When a wagon crashes, the alarms go off after a brief flare. According to insiders, Claressa Shields came into the room with the energy of someone who had just had everything snatched away and was there to get it back, okay? She did not have a clipboard at the front desk, nor was it because she was obliged to do so or because she was a professional. All 9 of Papoos's direct pieces of proof, voice notes, and screenshots had just been forwarded to Claressa. For months of Papoos's public grief, Claressa had stood by him, unable to keep quiet, even when he began crying during the BET program. She was there to support him throughout the post-rebuilding treatment. She intended to have a private, affectionate encounter with Remy Ma, not just once. But on a regular basis, it was evident to all that he never truly let go of Remy. With a heavy heart and a fiery voice, Claressa entered the room where Remy was, now mute, frail, and hooked up to medical tubes. What happened next was captured on a nurse's cell phone because, let's face it, someone is always documenting drama. Right away, Claressa took the initiative to appear by Remy's bedside, frowned at her as she screamed the words that would send the internet into a frenzy. With heavy eyes, Remy remained motionless as she whispered, "You stole him. He was mine." And she added, "And you knew what you were doing even in this bed. You were never out of your system, huh?" said Claressa, while a monitor beeped rapidly, and a nurse gasped. Those who watched the published clip said the excitement was extraordinary. "Under the blankets, he was messaging you while I sat with him every night. Consider it." When your ex-man's new girlfriend accuses you of emotional warfare when you are practically hooked up to heart monitors. You are lying in a hospital bed, receiving treatment. It wasn't a physical attack, but rather a verbal, emotional, and spiritual tug from Claressa's words. That was more of an emotional exorcism than a fight. And worst of all, Remy just looked. She didn't defend herself, fight back, yell, or deny. One nurse who witnessed it said it was like witnessing 8. Seems like Claressa witnessed something romantic and significant that evening. Only an hour had passed since Papoos's last trip to the hospital had been discovered, haunting the incorrect house ghost identified, though aware that she would soon have to confront Claressa. Remy appears to have been anticipating this. He had done more than simply hold Remy's hand till Claressa came, though. According to a nurse, she heard Papoose begin to cry during a chat. Remy's quick, silent motion of reaching up and touching his face was what made Claressa immediately grab the film. Someone inside said it, either to sow trouble or to she lost her fury and showed up, but no one knows that she was warned. notwithstanding the divisiveness on Twitter. Hashtag Team Claressa is asserting that she was right to confront Remy, highlighting the importance of loyalty and the reality that you cannot play victim when you are the antagonist in someone else's story. In the meantime, hashtag Justice for Remy is trending similarly, claiming in a mysterious tweet 2 days before the catastrophe, Papoose made his last public declaration. Some facts don't need to be explained. Just wait and see. He knew, according to some, while others think it was a warning. No one should attack her in a hospital ward, no matter the drama. And his radio silence just fueled the fires. Remy has been accused of manipulating emotions in the past and has not denied seeing her. Ray, for instance, denied reports in 2022 that she was seeing Easy, the block captain. Fans are currently discovering e-rolled GIFs and old interviews. Soon, Claressa will find out. During a 2023 red carpet interview, Remy was questioned on one particularly painful recording that went public. If she believed in unresolved love, I believe in unfinished business. Love is just the excuse we use, she continued. Consider the following remark again. I believe in unfinished business. Love. Reuniting Remy and Papoose during one of life's most difficult periods, or waiting for Claressa to calm down before having her guy back, was a long-term plan. We now know that even while love can be filthy and ugly, it can also result in a full-fledged verbal battle in a hospital ward, before the cameras were switched off and the video disappeared. A final rumor was purportedly heard from a weak and breathless Remy Ma. Remy's monitor went silent for a while, but it was enough to send her running, and Claressa left the room with guards by her side, still screaming, "Tell the world the truth." Immediately following the release of the hospital footage, Remy Ma was never expected to understand that one comment, which was made from her hospital bed like a confession to the universe and sent shockwaves through social media. Ladies and gentlemen, the true narrative begins there. Even though Twitter timelines were already in flames and podcasts were preparing emergency editions, Claressa Shields' revelation less than 12 hours after the hospital fight utterly upended the narrative. Claressa aired live on Instagram without any filters while sporting a bear hoodie. The world was hoping for a moment of reflection, apologies, and maybe even regret, but instead they got verbal abuse. I don't regret anything at all. In order to make it appear as though Remy was the victim and that a witness was required to establish the truth. Claressa immediately began staring into the camera as soon as I walked into the hospital room. I used people's emotions to turn the tables in her chess game, and millions more watched the live broadcast in real time. Claressa said that for months, Remy and Papoose had been deceiving her. At first, she chose to ignore the charges, even protecting Remy from the barbershop gossip and harsh fans. But she learned about the Remy had been keeping her quiet by using Claressa's illness as a barrier, she stated. "You don't confront a sick woman," she added, referencing security footage of Remy and Papoose embracing in the hospital. "You support your man as he visits until you realize he isn't praying, it's reconnecting." After being tagged by supporters, the video went viral. "Don't be mad, it's not like I don't love you. I just need to make peace with her before it's too late," Claressa muttered as she picked up her phone during the live stream and played a voicemail that was allegedly from Papoose. The morning headlines were unavoidable. Claressa Shields recounts Papoose's final goodbye to Remy Ma, who exploited her illness as leverage to reunite with Papoose. Let's talk about damage control after leaked voice notes raise accusations of cheating in a medical drama was imposed on Remy Ma's camp. Her publicist released a stereo fans weren't in agreement, especially after Fat Joe unfollowed her. Actually, Uncle Joe, who had been rooting for Remy from the beginning, listened when he subtly clicked the unfollow button. In a subsequent enigmatic tweet, Ebro stated, "Real love doesn't need a mic check." Even if it was a small shadow, it was clear. Papoose said nothing during this period. But an old Instagram story snapshot of him and Remy from 2017 reappeared with simple feelings and uncertainty, no tag or message. A former Mount Sinai nurse, however, came out without disclosing her identity and contacted Anne based on actual security records. An independent gossip blog claims that Remy Ma's invitation list was changed 3 times that evening. According to the timestamped and dated documents, Remy Ma's new PR manager removed Claressa's name from the clearance sheet and added 50 cents. Hold for a second. That same evening, 50 Cent was admitted to the hospital. What was in that envelope? Was it legal paperwork, a final will, or was it connected to a secret project? Remember that unreleased Remy McKissery, the one? Once he was photographed face down in a hoodie with 2 men in plain black on either side. He refused to discuss it with the waiting press and remained with a sealed packet for 22 minutes. 50 Cent executive produced the song Resurrection. The Queen returns, insiders said. But the video they shot, which features Remy's hospital moments, is currently on indefinite hold because it might show what fans are calling the most disrespectful love triangle in hip-hop history. Claressa's followers, however, aren't going anywhere. Supporters want to know if Remy exploited sympathy for his own benefit, if Claressa behaved properly or too much, and if Papoose was emotionally cheating. A popular petition called #ProtectClaressa, which calls for transparency from Papoose, Ree's group, and the hospital, has already garnered 150,000 signatures. An anonymous individual posing as a member of Remy's management team shared a screenshot of a group chat called Bounce Back Plan, in which Remy, her manager, and an unnamed third contact were all present. The story came to a close with this. The message kept going. Let her come, it'll sell the story. Pause. Let her come as in Claressa, as in the hospital confrontation. The politeness of the podcast segments and Remy's odd job lead viewers to believe that she knew Claressa would arrive and made sure someone was filming so the encounter would be caught on camera. This woman, however, was not taken by surprise. Rather, she was producing content while attending to a medical emergency. The public's waning interest and the suddenness of music releases have brought her back into the spotlight, not only for drama but also for power, misery, betrayal, and survival. Claressa might have been in danger. Given that the most recent video depicts Remy deleting silence, although it's unknown what she was recovering from, some started to argue that maybe she wasn't worthy of being pulled in that way during the altercation. Remy Ma was being assessed for emotional exhaustion rather than a physical ailment, according to an unconfirmed medical source. As a result, she wasn't saying totally altered the perception of Claressa as either a villain or the sole person who dared to disclose the script before it was made available on Netflix. Did she also let the word that she was rapidly losing her health spread, thus giving people the impression that Papoose was bidding adieu forever? Last but not least, we recently found out that Claressa has scheduled a press conference. In addition to releasing images, direct conversations, and possibly even unpublished surveillance footage, she has pledged total transparency. Not only has she failed to finish it, but we have to. When Claressa arrived for her scheduled news briefing 2 days after the hospital brawl, her shields were not engaged in a game of chess. The press room fell silent when a big screen behind her turned on. Claressa stood behind the microphone, lifted her chin, did something that most celebrities would never do. She handed up the receipts. Claressa was wearing all black with gold trim. A media squad more cynical than the Grammy red carpet surrounded the encounter, along with her boxing coach and 2 lawyers. She still owns a piece of my soul. I'm not proud, but I'm also not ready to lie just yet. This is a snapshot of a text message from Papoose that says that. The resulting brief but unambiguous footage shows Papoose leaving Remy's hospital room at 1:41 a.m. kissing her hand and hugging her for around 30 seconds while muttering something. One certain method to start. A stir was with the following incomprehensible tape. It showed Claressa pacing a hotel room hours before the confrontation and yelling into a phone. "Nah, I don't care if she's sick." She was never supposed to win. She was never supposed to still be in the picture. The room was obviously damned, and flashing cameras, whispers, and gasps were heard before the confrontation. Once more, the internet came on. Influencers who had only 2 days earlier disparaged #CancelClaressa began to change their stances after the hashtag became popular on Instagram, because it was now more about obsession than sadness. Instead of being discreetly recorded, the footage was shared by Remy's manager, according to a leaked video. Weeks before, Ree's team had prepared audio specials to capitalize on the hype. So they were prepared for the scenario to occur. They didn't expect Claressa to lose her fury, though. Her degree of intense wrath changed the course of events, making Remy seem helpless, neglected, and vulnerable. She desired a distinct course for her public comeback, and now we have 3 factions, each with receipts, following different paths. While Remy Ma claims she was assaulted, coerced, and used as a punching bag, Claressa claims she was gaslighted and publicly humiliated by a man she trusted and a woman she tried to defend. Who do you suppose dove in head first? These days, papooses. Silence in the face of a private medical problem is interpreted as either cowardice or regret. Naturally, 50 Cent is entangled in other people's personal issues, as if that were the only thing he could not avoid. He remarked in a shocking post, "You guys are fighting over Pap like he dropped Get. I and I alone have actual masterpieces." He posted a follow-up photo of himself and Remy at a previous award presentation, writing, "Try to calm down, Rich." He also added, "She always had taste, just bad timing." Following Remy's lawyers' formal accusations of harassment and defamation against Claressa, the legal team at Mount Sinai has taken over. According to an official statement, they are examining guest security procedures, looking over internal footage, and offering their full support for the investigation. The mandatory courtroom cameras have sparked a full-fledged legal battle, with Netflix and Zeus Network already vying for the case. The lawsuit is also being filed by Claressa's lawyer, who claims that her client was duped by a cruel, emotionally manipulative media campaign meant to harm Claressa's reputation and ignite violence. As he looked into the camera late last night, Papoose finally broke his silence and revealed phone footage that had been recorded while he was sitting in his car with the hood up. "I tried to do right by both of them. I failed. I failed Remy. I failed Claressa," he said. "It was a broken, shattered, and wounded atmosphere. I still love them both, and I'm sorry that I failed myself." Remy wasn't supposed to die in a hospital bed with cameras pointed at her. She didn't deserve that, and Claressa didn't deserve to be misled. "But I stood in the storm because I didn't know how to stop it, and now I'm drowning in it," he said, as it happened. This involved 3 lives that were destroyed by love, dishonesty, and celebrity, in addition to infidelity. Now that the situation has subsided, we know that Remy Ma is supposedly recuperating at a private hospital. In just 1 hour, the video garnered 1 million views, sparking debate among followers. Accused him of emotional cowardice, while others commended his honesty. Facility outside of New York and is considering the release of a biography titled Unfinished Bars. Additionally, she will continue her podcast, which will offer a thorough justification of her position. Claressa reportedly has an agreement with a big streaming site to give her version of events, including parts that have been omitted, while she takes a vacation from fighting. Journal writings and video recordings, as well as Papoose, who has once again vanished. He shared a number of heartbreak anthems and breakup laments before disappearing. Lauryn Hill's X Factor may be the opening number, but we all know deep down that it's not over, so the world waits. Additional snippets will surface, and more secrets will be exposed when they do. We'll be right here to divulge all the information you shouldn't have known, including every last word and coded message, because that's what we do. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, a stolen voicemail. A fight in the hospital, a widely reported news conference, and a man at the center of it all who says nothing while everything around him burns, while the cameras stop recording. The realities keep coming to light. Or was it the enemy? Or was Claressa Shields just another famous lady in mourning? Was she a pawn in someone else's devious plan? Or had Remy Ma orchestrated the whole thing as a media comeback? The drama ends here, since you have clearly never been a part of the gossip spill vibe because of this. You won't want to miss the next one if you're addicted to the tea, the twists, and the truth. New receipts are being received, new audio leaks are being looked at. And an insider says Remy's memoir exposes much more treachery than what we have seen thus far. To start with, where's Papoose at the moment? Choosing like, smash, and turn on will allow you to stay anonymous. Rumors are the cause of your alerts, rather than attempting to chase clouds. The spill vibe is that we make public.